Is up, adventurers and travelers? Welcome back to Covet's Tavern. I'm Daiquiri Magic, and today we are back with more Paper Mario, the Origami King. Today we're doing another extra, and we're heading in here. I was quite confused, but so if you come read the description, which we will. Welcome to the world-renowned Musée Champion Art Gallery. Here you can browse a wealth of artistic images for each of the regions you've explored. As you explore and rack up Toad points, you will be able to unlock new artistic treasures one by one. You can earn Toad points simply by rescuing Toads, of course. To see how many points you have at any given time, open the menu and select the Info tab. Now, by all means, browse our selection and continue rescuing as many Toads as possible. We're going to do this in order, and I think we're just going to admire it. There's a lot to get through, and we're just going to do it together. That's super cool. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off my camera. Probably actually going to mute my mic too, and I'm probably going to just speed through this. So with that, I'm going to just do this. This is something I was talking about earlier on in a prior video. There were so many things they could have done with 1,000-fold arms, with magic circles, and they just didn't do it. And it's disappointing to see because they just had such a cool idea and they just didn't build upon it. Also, another picture that I saw, and I should have talked about it there, the Shy Guy in the Dark. Imagine if there was a dark level and all you saw was the eyes of the folded soldiers, or the eyes of the paper macho soldiers. That would have been something that they really could have built upon. We still have a lot to do in the battle lab. Examine. Oh, that's cool. I'm not gonna do that for all of them. I do want to go back one page though. They missed out on a lot of great opportunity to do something with this, where the folded soldiers were glowing, to have like a day and night cycle. I feel like they missed a very big opportunity for something here. And as you can tell, they were exploring the idea of that and this with the different 1,000-fold arms. I like what they came up with for the bottom left 1,000-fold arms, but again, I feel like they missed a grand opportunity to build upon the concept of Paper Mario in this game. I feel like there was so much more and so much more potential that they could have gone through. I will say, though, very beautiful game. Going through these pictures a little too quick, so I'll slow down a little bit. I think another thing, and this is something that you can disagree with me, and I totally would understand if you disagree with me on this, but another thing that I feel like they failed to do was to have that customization that they've had in Thousand Year Door, where you could switch between switch Mario's character colors. But it's not a fail. I shouldn't call it a failure, and it's kind of rude to call it that, because they did put a lot of hard work into this. But I feel like there were a lot of things just missed upon, like the badges and everything. The accessories in this game didn't make sense. I'm a big believer in that. They missed a lot of fun stuff. The companions, I won't stop harping about the companions. I feel like the companions were a miss. If you're gonna have companions in there, first off, if you're gonna have companions in there, you need to explain how to make them attack, because apparently I was the one failing their attacks, which is fine. I'll gladly take the fail on that. But they definitely missed the mark on the companions. I will say that the art for not what I want to do. The art for Autumn Mountain, Shogun Studios, probably one of my favorite levels of all time. As much as I love the boating level, I feel like that was a very underdeveloped level, and we'll look at that when we get to the purple streamer. But Autumn Mountain, the colors are just so vibrant and beautiful. The only thing I didn't like about Autumn Mountain was obviously the Eddy River, but Autumn Mountain, Chestnut Valley, Shogun Studios, all probably some of my favorite level designs so far out of this entire game. And it was just so beautifully decorated. All the water effects too. And again, even with the Eddy River, okay, I struggled with the Eddy River, but still, if I hadn't gone for the trophy, I probably would appreciate it more, the complexity of it. The fact that there were multiple routes you could go, the fact that there was a challenge in there. I appreciate there being a challenge. And like, I could be mad about it all I want, but it was a nice little challenge to have. Not to mention the Water Elemental Temple, probably one of my favorite temples to have gone through. Don't get me wrong, the Ice Elemental Temple has a dear place in my heart. Fire Elemental was pretty cool, but I don't think there is a temple in this game that beats the Water Elemental. And I will be honest with you, the Earth Elemental Temple kind of lacked to me. But look at that. It's just so beautiful. I love the Water Temple. Probably my favorite temple. And then once you get to Shogun Studios, I love the fact that the boss fight happened on 4 floors in the tower. I love the design of the Shogun Studios. I loved finding the little masquerade mask, and like it was something that made Olivia smile and laugh. Like finding and not only that though, but they had a nice little nod to Donkey Kong and Samus having the paper macho heads with them. That was so cool. And once you unlocked the studio area, getting to take a picture there, oh, so awesome. The little ninja arcade too, where you go and find all the ninjas, that was fun. It's such a good level. It's just beautiful level design altogether. And then reuniting with Luigi here was awesome. It's just so beautiful. This level is just so well made. I could marvel over how amazing this really is. And I love bottom left on this picture right here. You see the different images of the Thwomp. It's just awesome. Like, look at how pretty that is. And you can tell they put some detail in that. They put a lot of planning into this if they had that many references for the Thwomp ready. And then once you get to the theater, the 4 different levels to the shows that you did. And it's just, oh, so gorgeous. Rubber Band wasn't my favorite boss in this game. But I will say the lead up to the boss, probably one of my favorites, where you fought like all the paper machos and had to do different things with them. Just so fun, so clever, well designed. Oh, that was fun. The showdown, just so beautiful. And then the Birdo being a part of this. I want to know why. I guess it's torture for that Toad bottom right to have his head rubber banded like that. But, you know, it's kind of funny. But that's blue. Coming over Sweet Paper Valley, where we lost our dear precious Bobby. I think Yellow Streamer probably was one of the cleverest designs for this, where you start in Sweet Paper Valley, but then you have to double back, go back to Toad Town to go to the dock to then go find the Princess Peach. I think it was a very clever level design. I didn't mean to press that. Coming in here, getting access to the boot car, just a lovely piece of, just a lovely level in general. Definitely having to go in here and work with the mole people too, finding all of them, and then realizing that they got all that rubble demolished. That was funny. Again, not my favorite level, but it was cute. It was sad though to lose Bobby here. Not gonna lie, losing Bobby like that this did suck, and then having to go through the emotional toll with Olivia was heart wrenching. Feel like we're missing something here. Oh, it's like the folded. Oh, it's the Paper Macho Factory. We never got to see that. But it was the tunnel ideas. This would have been something that I think I would have appreciated, seeing where the paper machos were coming. Also seeing where like the folded soldiers were coming from. I get it. Ollie was spawning the folded soldiers in the castle when he was stealing all of Bowser's minions, but we never actually saw where a macho came from. And I think having this in there, showing how the folded soldiers were creating the machos, I feel like they missed out on something there. I feel, again, looking through this gallery. I don't often do this. I don't actually look through these galleries often in video games, but this is something I could definitely appreciate, like the Sniffit Valley or Shroom City. Like, just look how pretty that is. I did forget that this was technically a night level because the sun was punched out of the sky, but I will say it wasn't a proper night level. I think a true night level where you were dealing with, I guess like what I'm about to say is kind of contradicting, because we did deal with the booze and we did deal with all the nighttime enemies. But I just feel like they could have done so much more with it. And again, having the light up enemies, I think it just, again, something they missed out. I will say though, and I will go back on something I said. The Scorching Sandpaper Desert had probably one of my favorite bosses with the spiky paper macho. That was probably my favorite boss fight of this entire game. Probably. I have to, as we go through this gallery, I'll probably look at more. But just, this probably was my second favorite level. I loved the lights. I loved the feel of Shroom City. I loved going in between the desert. The only thing I will say with the desert, I did feel like it was a little bit small, especially the extent, the branched off areas. They were really small. Whereas like some of the other levels you had some like decent sized, oh, I didn't mean to do that. You had some decent sized branches. I think I might have just messed up. I did. But again, nothing that I could really complain about too much. And then once again, coming over to the Fire Valley Mental Temple, very beautiful temple. I will say, great level design altogether. Didn't really care for Mario knocking over a statue, but it was actually kind of funny seeing him knock it down with that gondola. Where's this at? The trick door. I don't remember where this is, honestly. Oh, going through the temple and everything, that was cool. The temple, I think, this wasn't my favorite boss fight. Definitely one of my favorite boss areas to go through, though. This was just gorgeous design, gorgeous level design all together. The spiders were awesome. Again, gorgeous level design, not my favorite boss. Just loved that temple. I love everything about that temple. I think the best part about that area, though, was definitely finding Captain Teod. Captain Teod. That was cool. That was a nice little homage to Aladdin, too, when the statue opened its mouth. That was cool. And this little mission, lighting up the 4 idols, that was really cool. Captain Teod. Oh, man. No disrespect to Captain Toad. I love that Captain Toad has become a national icon in Mario. It's great. Ruined houses. I don't remember seeing these, but I'm pretty sure that's where, like, it was on the right side of the map. Definitely could have developed those a little bit more than just having them, having the outline of the houses. I think that's the only thing about that area on the ruined houses that I would have liked to see, is just a little bit more build up on those to, you know, actually see ruins and all that, not just the outline of where the ruins were. That's my only critique for the yellow tree. Ah, the Princess Peach. Glorious ship. Look at how beautiful that is. Big ship, too. Great level design. I definitely appreciated how the Toads were attacked by the blooper, and that was the backstory of Bobby, too. Just so glorious. Oh, look, there he is, Bobby, exploring the wreckage of the ship with us, trying to figure out what was going on and what attacked us. The ink-soaked rooms everywhere. The VIP room, the engine room, the captain room, or the captain's quarters. Just awesome to see. Again, I feel like they could have done more. I will say the Admiral Toad having such an obsession with Peach, kind of weird. Don't know how much I really agree with that level choice or that level design, but beautiful pictures of Peach overall. Beautiful level design. I just love that that blooper fight. It was a really good fight. This was probably my favorite mechanic of the game, though, was getting the submarino with Captain Teod to dive down, find treasure. Definitely wish there was more to it, but the fact that they even had an underwater area to grab treasure was cool enough, and it was because the submarino was inoperable for most part, but it was still able to do its treasure hunting. That was a cool level design. I love the boat. I love everything about the boat, and I love seeing what I'm seeing right here, seeing the different designs they had for the boat. This, to me, just screams great creativity on the team who created this. I love everything that I'm seeing here. I love that they had many different renders of the boat and how it could have looked. I definitely appreciate there being upgrades for the boat. Definitely wish there were more, but I can't hate this. It was a beautiful design. I love even having the one upgrade for the engine. That way you could ram through enemies and scour the entirety of the Great Sea was awesome. Coming to Heart Island, Full Moon Island, Spade Island, Diamond Island, and the other, basically all the islands, having different shaped islands, and then executing every shape into the theme of the island was just awesome. Question Block Island, which was awesome. Skull Island, I love Skull Island. Great. I love seeing this too, where Ollie came from, and I love that they gave the backstory and the exposition behind all that. Just beautiful. I might actually have to take back what I said about Autumn Mountain, because I definitely will say I love the Great Sea level. I'm struggling though, because I love the design of Autumn Mountain, but I'm not gonna lie, just looking at this now, I'm looking at the photos, making me love this more. Will say though, not my favorite temple, due to the fact that I didn't care for the 3 trials, though great homage to the Legend of Zelda with the 3 the Triforce, basically, with the Trial of Wisdom, Power, and Courage. I love that that was just an homage to that. Beautiful on the game. Good temple. Good temple, not my favorite temple, like I said. Water temple is probably the best, but I will say I love the sculptures and everything about it. Just man, you can't hate it. You really can't hate it. And then the transition to Shangri Spa, where we fought. Who did we fight here? Who did we fight here? Who did we fight here? Wasn't no. It was a stapler. Scissors. Tape. We fought Tape here. But I love that this is where we got the final Velumental, and then we had to use the Velumental powers to solve each of the islands so we could unlock the Idol of Power. That was a beautiful thing. Then going through the tower and having to use, or having the different Velumentals face off with each other, I think was just beautiful level design. Probably my favorite favorite boss temple of them all. Probably. I mean, it is just gorgeous. Like, look at that. That render is just beautiful. I know I'm saying favorite a lot, and I probably should hold off on those words, but at the same time, just this game came to grow on me a lot, as you guys saw throughout it. Like a lot of massive growing on my part with this game, because I really hated this game when we first started, and it really did irritate me. But I will say this game grew on me a lot, and going through the art right now makes me appreciate this game just that much more. Good old Shangri Spa combined with Bowser's Castle. Another beautiful level. I will say though, Shangri Spa I think was very underdeveloped, because it was Sky Islands, that's cool, but the many islands just having hot tubs on them, not my favorite design at all. And if I'm honest with you, it was kind of weird seeing the toads basically enslaved the minions. See, I like what I'm seeing here in this picture though, where Bowser's Castle is fully upright. Like it only crashed into one of their spas, but the castle itself stayed intact, because Bowser's Castle should be a very strong castle in itself. I think there were too many hidden paths in this one, and that's a weird take, and I know that's probably gonna sound really weird, but I think there were a lot of hidden paths, and I think a lot of unnecessary hidden paths, but it was still kind of cool. But I think the whole idea of like the angelic toads, very weird choice, if I'm honest with you. I definitely think they should have gone with the Toad Mario at this point, or Frog Mario, whatever that was. But they missed out. But again, I'm not gonna lie, those statues creeped me the hell out. Toads in general are just creepy in general, but the angelic toads of it, I get it, it's a freaking spa in the sky. The angelic toads, really weird level choice for me. This was cool though, when the Chain Chomp was chasing us, the Paper Macho Chain Chomp was chasing us. Probably my favorite idea. I stand by it though. The toads enslaved the minions basically, and I get it. They wrecked through the spa, but you can't tell me that spa didn't have insurance. Anyway, great level design here, going for that last spa with all the statues. Will say though, the fact that later on, after you clear out the streamer and it's not fully rebuilt, kind of weird. But again, it takes time to do all that, so I get it. What are we looking at here? Oh, when we were going through the chasm to the rainbow spa, that was probably my favorite part of this level, was going for the rainbow spa. Because once you got here to Shy Guys finish last or something, Shy Guys finish first, something like that, whatever it's called. Oh, beautiful level. I love that it was called a Shy Guy game, but I think a Sniffit. No, Shy Guy held it. In this picture, a Sniffit's hosting it, but a Shy Guy did host it in the end. It was cool to see that there was a weather effect here where it would blow you away and all that. I loved this area. I love that Kamek was a big part of this, and Kamek we didn't have to fight Kamek to get Kamek to join our team. We all united. This was where it really got cool though, was when we got into the Great Hall and there was nothing but folded soldiers, but minions of Bowser came in and attacked with us. That was super dope. I love that. And then here, this is probably my favorite boss fight of all of them, was going up against Scissors and the weird paper macho Buzzy Beetle. This is probably my favorite boss of all time. I loved how egotistic the Scissors were about winning this, and I just loved the idea of the Buzzy Beetle being able to absorb Kamek's power. That was a great concept. I will say this puzzle was really simple. I wish it would have been a little bit more complicated than what it was. And then I wish if you solved it early, Bowser did have a line basically like, I don't know how you solved it that fast. I might have to talk to my security guy. But instead, he just said something about like the people he bought it from. He's gonna talk to them about it instead. I wish it would have been open for him, and he was like, why is this open and all that. To me, I think they missed out on a good chance to have like a little Easter egg or a little something if you did it early. This was cool, finding the minions. Every minion had their own statue and everything. The only weird part of that, and this is gonna sound super stupid, the fact that there's one room for every type of that minion, kind of awkward. Like the Koopas only had 2 beds, one for one for red shells, one for green shells. Again, they are papers though, so they probably stack, and we've seen that through this game where the papers did stack on top of each other. That's probably how it worked, and they probably didn't want to go that deep into level design. But at the same time, hear me out. The rooms were awesome though. No matter what I say to that, the rooms were cool. The green streamer in itself, I think it wasn't my favorite. Bowser's Castle was my favorite area. Of all of the areas that we got to explore, Bowser's Castle was my favorite. And I will put that above Autumn Falls, especially right now as we go through the gallery. Things are going to shift, obviously, but I don't think anything really will top Bowser's Castle. Even going through Ollie's Castle. Ollie's Castle was cool, but it really isn't. This is Bowser's Castle we're talking about. Bowser's Castle is just that amazing. This one's gonna be a little bit shorter of a talk, but this was probably my favorite event of the entire game, was getting on the airship. Doing this right here, getting in the big gun, the whole cinematic of that, beautiful. The ship itself, beautiful. There was nothing bad about this area. Landing in the volcano, very weird, but still gorgeous. And the fact that a bunch of the mini paper macho Goombas came and attacked us. But look at this. This was my favorite part of this game of all times, getting on the airship and riding in that airship using the gun. Oh my gosh, even for a mini game, that was just beautiful. And then I loved these right here. I loved how many different paper airplanes there were. I love that they had a Star Destroyer be the one that took us down out of the sky too. It was so freaking cool. My favorite thing of all time when it comes to this game. I loved it. I loved every second of that. That's a beautiful overlook of Peach's castle on the volcano too. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I can't stop marveling at this. This was my favorite part of this entire game. This whole little event, crashing into flying in the airship, taking out those planes, crashing into the volcano, and climbing our way up to the Origami Castle. There are a bunch of good areas, but this definitely takes the cake when it comes to events in the game. Just this area was just so beautifully done. then watching Ollie create the castle, that was a beautiful cinematic. And look at the different designs they had for Ollie's castle. Definitely think the second design on the top probably would have been more lit, because I think it would have fit Ollie's tone a little bit better. The others are a little too colorful for what he was going for, but what they chose in the end was still great. The green didn't fit Ollie as well as I wish the purple would have, but and I definitely liked how punishing the final area was. Every time you fell out, you only had 2 falls and then you were dead. I liked that. I actually appreciate that, even though I had a death to that. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that Ollie at the end still cared so much about his sister that he gave her a throne in his throne room, and that she had a statue in there too. That was cool. And I like that when you entered the castle, you did get a little piece of the castle that Luigi was stuck in. I liked that. I liked that a lot. The 1,000 crane idea, not gonna lie to you, they could have done something better. I feel like Ollie could have had a star. He could have had something. There was no hint of the cranes whatsoever. There was no mention of the cranes, and the next thing you know, that's what his whole aspiration was. Also, I'm gonna say this now, his whole like conflict with the creator, I think, was ridiculous. He didn't know what it said, and so he felt scarred up by the creator. I hate that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I hated that. I hated this 1,000 crane idea. They could have done something more. There's so much in the Mario universe they could have chosen, but the 1,000 cranes I think was stupid. I'm excited to hop right into this one because this makes me excited. Character design. The folded soldiers were so geniusly created. There was nothing I could hate about them. Not at all. I will say, though, I don't remember seeing a flying dry bone, but the Koopas were done well. And there's not a bad one. I don't think there was a bad one so far. But looking at all the designs that they had, you had the little, I like that Peach wasn't good in this one. I like that Peach was against you in this whole thing. Like, she was folded early on. I'm pretty sure that when Ollie arrived, she was basically said, like, I would like to show you something. And then he remade her in his image. And that was a really great idea for this entire game. You could see, too, there were some unused items. Like, if you go to the second column, you can see that there was that was probably one of the football bros on the flying blocks that wasn't used. The only one that I'm confused about, because you never ran into one out in the open, but was the TikTok bombs. That the Koopa bombs that we would run into periodically, never seen in the map ever, but yet they would just appear. And it was wild to me, but there was a lot of great design here. Loved the crabs. Didn't really care too much for the walking piranha plants too much, but I'm not going to say I hated them. But the bigger hammer bros, those were cool. The 1,000-fold arms, again, I feel like they missed so much with what they could do for that. I feel like Mario at some point should have become like more and more Origami as he went on. But he would have maintained like his paper body, but like he would have learned like a spring jump with the 1,000-fold legs or something. The 1,000-fold arms, I feel like, was a completely underutilized thought, and that it was so underutilized. They could have done more with Origami and Mario, because he was already becoming Origami with 1,000-fold arms. Paper machos, though. I loved the paper machos. I loved how it started, too, with this grotesque thing eating a house. It was awesome. Never killed one single paper macho piranha plant. I don't think you can, but just beautiful design on them. The spikes, too. I loved the spikes. That was my favorite paper macho right there, though. The paper macho chain chop. Actually, I lied. That's my second favorite, because that one is my favorite. That was the best. Not the best, but that was one of my favorite mini bosses to have to go through. The boos were done well. I will agree with that. Those were cool. I love that. He was really well designed. These guys were well designed too. I feel like the bombs were so underutilized, though. They could have done more, and they also could have done more with the size development of the paper machos. Like, you could have run into minis and mini paper machos and other things, but they still needed a number of hits to kill, and they weren't just gonna be folded soldiers. Feel like they missed out on that. This is something that I've wanted to talk about since day one, though. when it comes to the Velumentals, they always said that the Velumentals got folded. What were their original forms then? What did they truly look like? Because if you're going to say that they were folded, then after we defeated them, they should have gone to their original form and left behind the Bibliofold to show Olivia how to do it. Not just defeating them, next thing you know, they're dead. That never said what happened to the actual spirit of the Velumental. They just said it was folded and then it died. But, like, imagine, like, see how, like, I mean, it's still Origami-esque, but, like, I love looking at the idea, like, how the first two images of the fire Velumental, that could have been, like, what it really looked like or something. They definitely needed to explain that a little bit more. I hated the water Velumental in itself. I hated the fat dragon. It was comical, cool. I think it was stupid looking. And if that's what the Velumental was supposed to look like before Ollie, they really should have shown that. Same thing here with the polar bear. The polar bear, it was cool looking, but again, the power of it was just kind of lame. Oh, no, there's more. Hold on, we're not done with that. I messed up, I'm sorry. Got one more page to go through. And then you get to these guys right here. Ollie, to me, the whole hair flip thing with the emo kid and the scar, I think they weren't menacing. I get it. He probably wasn't trying to be menacing, but he really wasn't that menacing to begin with. I liked how I voiced him and everything. Same with Olivia. I can't do female voices that well, but Olivia was voiced to me very well. I loved her final form being the hammer, which was cool. This was the dumbest fight of them all. I'll be honest with you. What were we doing in that entire fight? What was the slamming doing? Was it creating a shockwave that was sending them forward? I'm going to be honest with you. This was stupid. Take that how you will. I think it was stupid. This was, I loved her. I love that she was evil. They definitely should have used her more. I think just, you know, showing that she was evil at the beginning, kicking us out of the castle, and then becoming part of the castle. It was cool. They could have used her more, and they could have made her evil more. This right here is what I love about the game the most, though, is the fact that he hated the Toad so much. He was like, I'm going to fold all of you into something weird. Or if you're a failure, I'm going to crumple you up and throw you away. I'm going to put you in a wall. I'm going to do all these horrid things to you. And the fact that there were so many items that were that the Toads became, it was just wild to me. I definitely wish you could have done some character design or some different like character customization with Mario. I liked that it was just the standard Paper Mario stuff, but at the same time, looking at all this and seeing what Mario could have been, they missed out. I definitely love the character designs they have. The snippets are adorable. But that's it, guys. And if we, there it is. Do-da-dee-doo. Do-da-dee. Do-da-dee-da. Do-da-dee-da. We have a trophy. Great news, Mario. I received one or more of your trophies. Art collector. Should be 5 left. So let's go back to the trophy room real quick. So at minimum, there's 5 videos left, guys. I think with the, actually I can turn my face cam on now that we're done with this. So, oh, hold on. There's that death counter. We don't need that death counter. That's for something else. All right, so we got 10 of our 15 trophies. Well, I feel like we should get every collectible treasure, which we will get once we do the battle lab. Okay, so in the next video, we are probably going to attempt to clear the Shuriken Dojo, which shouldn't take us long. And if we do end up doing that one in one video or in a short time frame, like 10 minutes or less, depending, because that one I probably just will speed up. We probably will head for Shy Guys Finish Last. This one we won't do until after that. So at minimum, there's probably 3 videos left. But I'm trying to see. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what the ringer is. 16 level, clear 16 levels in speed rings at the battle lab. That one's gonna be difficult. I already can see that one being difficult, but I feel like we'll be fine. But then I think the ringer is that battle thing that we have to do. which that will be the last thing we do, because once we do that, we'll get this. So yeah, we'll probably try and ring those two up into one video. And if not, those will probably be like 2 10-minute videos each. And then we just have the 2 in the battle lab. And once we do that, we'll have this. And then I'm going to look into it and do some research. I'm not going to try and spoil it for myself, but I'm pretty sure there's a secret ending if you get all the trophies. At least that's what the guide said. So with that, I'm going to end here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, leave me that like down below if you guys enjoyed this. Comment for what you want to see next. And above all, make sure you subscribe and join the tavern today to see more amazing content that I create. I love you guys, and I hope to see all of y'all in the next one. Have a great night, guys.